Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Jen Cares, powered by Chosen Counselors. I am your host, Jen Cares, and I'm the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. Whew, thank you so much for being with me on this journey. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. It's going to be amazing. I am truly amazed with all that has happened thus far this year. It's only day 25 and it's been amazing. Have you been moving forward? Hope you have. So this month we kicked off with our Move Forward series and it has been awesome. We affirmed some things, we addressed our mental health, we engaged in some self-care. Last week we did a little healing and tonight we're going to pivot because that's really needed. So first question, did you do your homework? Let me look at these comments. Let me check them out. Oh, we got some hellos. Hey, Todd. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait till next month. He's going to be a guest. Hey, Keisha. Good evening. Good evening. So my question remains the same. Did y'all do your homework? Do you remember what the homework was? We were to write down some pros and cons and some different areas of where we felt like we needed some healing so that we can address it, so we can really move forward. This is the first month of the year, and we want this year to be amazing, and it can be amazing. But guess what? We want to address some things so that we can move forward, letting go of some baggage, Even the broom over there wanted to fall. But we want to let go some baggage, okay? So I'm going to share some lessons that I've explored this week, For my self-evaluation, I was reminded, one, to be more alert to what's for me and what's not for me. Sometimes I have to pull back, and sometimes I just need to manage my time in a way that it doesn't overwhelm me because it could bring some disappointment, some frustrations, and then I get out of the groove, I get out of the, rhythm that I had. And because sometimes people take advantage. Yeah, sometimes people take advantage. And I've learned that since I can't fight God, in some situations I don't want to fight either. I'm just going to like, God, you handle that one because I can't do it. I don't want to stress myself, overwhelm myself. But if I'm honest, sometimes we do get ourselves in some situations that we should not have gotten ourselves into. But it helps me to maintain my sanity. I was reminded of how, one person can't fill 20 holes in a boat. If the boat is flooding, 20 holes, I can only do but so many. And sometimes I got to step back because that might not be my vein. I might cause some more holes to come up, and then it's another flood going on. So knowing what I can do and what I can't do. And I hope you did the same. Another part that I reflected on, because I don't see y'all putting no things done what y'all did for your homework. I'm going to ask again at the end in case our friends join a little later. One was forgiveness. Sometimes we need to forgive ourselves. We try to do things. It doesn't work out. It does work out. But, we learn lessons from it. That's the hope, is that we'll learn a lesson from it so that it doesn't have to come back around. But we want to also be careful of how we try to meet the needs of others because we're only one person and we have to do some things for ourselves too. So in healing, we have to be mindful of ourselves. So what helps Jennifer be Jennifer? What helps you be you? And I want you to be sure to be mindful of that as we continue to move forward in this year. So tonight we're going to move forward and pivot. I looked up the definition of pivot and it said twirl and things of that sort. I can do it at twirling, but you see my little spins? Pivot. Gotta pivot sometimes. Hey, pivot. Might write a song. I'm playing. Tonight's guest is Rashidah Williams. I'm sorry, Rashidah Lattimore is really her name. Is it? We're going to find out when she comes on. I don't want to say it wrong. But, I am so excited. I met her a little while ago working on a project together. And I'm not going to tell you a lot about her life because she's going to tell you some areas in which she has pivoted and how it has helped, how it has not helped, changing it up as needed, rotating, twirling. But, sometimes we get caught on the dead end. And on that road, we need to turn around and maybe need to spin or twirling things. So help me welcome our guest on tonight, Rashidah. It's going to be amazing. Here we go. Bam.
Yay. Hello, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. I randomly saw her in the store. What was it? Marshalls or TJ Maxx?
And November.
November. And we got to talking. I said, January, I need you. So it's
Right.
important one to maintain connections with people because you never know when it comes back around. But I am
Absolutely.
so excited because we had talked about this,
Yeah.
just the pivoting and changing lanes and things of that sort. So I was like, you would be perfect for this. So before we
Thank
get
you.
started, I have a quote of the day. We always start with a quote of the day. And today's
Okay.
quote of the day is, pivoting is not the end of the disruption process, but the beginning of the next leg of your journey. Again, pivoting is not the end of the disruption process, but the beginning of the next leg of your journey. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that. And I think that is so, so, so true. A lot of times we get caught up in what we think we should be doing or what we think our purpose is, what we think our goals are. And we allow ourselves to get so caught up that we allow that same place to be a cage. And that's not to say
Mhm.
that it's not a part of our purpose, it's not a part of our journey. It's just not the end all be all. And so pivoting is
Mm.
absolutely necessary in order to get where you're going because it's just like I guess the analogy I could use is trying to use the same car for your entire life. You don't. You use your car for as long as you need it, and when it's time to get a new car, you get in a new car, and you leave that car where it is. Even if that car is still up and running, a lot of times you give it away, or it sits in your yard, but you don't drive it anymore. You drive your new car, and so
Mm.
I think that I think that it's necessary, and I'm a living testimony that it is necessary. So yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love that. I like that. The car, because you can't, as many miles as you put on a car, eventually it still has to, give up the ghost or something else goes on wrong before you get to those miles and things. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
And even think about it from the perspective of what I'm going through right now is just needing a bigger car. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the car that I currently have,
Mm.
but it's not serving the purpose for where I'm going. And so I have to upsize. I have to make sure that I look for something
Yes.
to carry me, carry my business, and carry my family. And that's what
Mm.
pivoting can do.
Yeah, she is good already. I was with a friend the other day, and they had to rent a car, and they
Mhm.
had a van. I said, "Y'all moving up in the world." The van was more fitting because
Right.
the family and things that sort and the different things they're doing. So as you said that, I was like, they don't want to hear that because sometimes, this is good too. Sometimes we're not ready for that upgrade that we need to be able to accommodate all that we have. And we
Come
got
on.
this small little thing that we're trying to carry all this on, and the car's like, all right, you gonna get this together. I mean, how much more you
Right.
want me to do? So that's good. This is good already. The next leg of the journey. Oh, I'm gonna watch this one again already. Okay. So as always, I have prepared some questions. However, if any of my chosen friends have a question or want to share some thoughts or nuggets and things of that sort, again, I like this car analogy so far, and I love it too because on the promo it's a road because we're moving
Yeah,
forward, and
yes,
I've
yes.
been trying. I've been
I
trying
didn't
that
even
in.
think about that.
You go ahead, girl.
Okay.
So again, I have some questions, but if you have any questions or want to comment, be sure to drop it down below. So hold on, we got some more hellos. Hey Keisha, how you doing? I think I said hey, I'm so sorry. Crystal got the claps. Crystal, did you do your homework? Dr. Pearl, yes, good evening, good sir. Hey Sherry, I hope you're doing good, sunshine. Sean said, awesome analogy. Sorry, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. All right, so let's get it started. Tell us
Okay.
about what you do.
I am a retired hairstylist. I was a cosmetologist for well over 10 years professionally, and I am now, I have a few things going on. I am the author of a new book that Jennifer, this cutie right here, edited for me. And so, yeah, I am the author of a book called Power Up. I'm excited about that. I am also working on a business that was birthed after having my daughter and decided that I wasn't going back to the salon. And so, in that business, I make custom wood pieces, and we also offer intimate events. So, intimate event settings for dinner parties or for baby showers. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a dinner. However, it is intimate events that we focus on. And so, yeah, getting in the details of doing events and enjoying the process. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yes, yes. So 10 years doing hair.
Yes. Longer than that, but 10 years professionally. I've been doing hair since I was 12. Yeah, about 12 years old. I graduated from high school at 16. I went to hair school, I want to say 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I originally went to school for hair because my mom was just like, okay, you're working and you're doing hair at home, but you need to be doing something else. What are you going to do? And she
Okay.
didn't force me to go to college. It was very much my choice. At the time, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to go to school for hair because it works. From there, I was hired at a salon and I just kept going. And so what was supposed to be a quick fix turned into my life. Yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't see hair being like your forever ever. It was just supposed to be that moment.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that until I took I had been realizing it, but as of lately, after having my daughter, I birthed her and birthed so many different parts of myself. And in addition to that, I decided to start going to therapy to start dealing with things that I know about and things that I don't know about, breaking down generational curses and creating a new legacy, creating a new legacy and a new foundation for my family. And so from doing that, I was able to recognize that there was so many more parts of me that I wasn't exploring. And then, of course, at the same time, God had been nudging at me like, okay, so what are you going to do? Prior to leaving the salon and having my daughter, I was already doing women's empowerment events, but that was something that God just dropped on my spirit, not thinking nothing of it. I'm just like, okay, this is just an addition to what I do. So now I'm in a space and place where it's like, okay, no, that wasn't a part of who I am. That is who I am. It's my job to help people inspire, encourage, motivate, but more than that, it's my job to save souls. And so in understanding that, I recognize that I have to stand in my truth. I have to be obedient to what God is asking of me and follow what comes from that, not necessarily having a plan and sticking to it to the point that I won't allow him to step in and allow me to pivot. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trusting God, being obedient to what he's telling me and following through with what is necessary to do that, even if it's uncomfortable.
Even if it's uncomfortable, that's the big one, because you get so comfortable in some positions. So let's go to the challenge of moving from here, knowing that you needed to move from here because it's still a gift of yours. You could like come put some hair together and just like voila, because it's in you to do it. So how was that process, or walk us through that process of one, identifying that I need to leave from here, the struggle of if you did it right then or if you took your time to do it? Like, how did they go?
All right. So I had my daughter in September of 2019. I literally worked until the day before I had her. So when I went home that night, I went into active labor.
Wow.
And so I planned on going back to work maybe in 3 months and figuring it out from there, like maybe going 2 days a week and then building up from there. And then my daughter didn't want to take a bottle. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is happening yet. Okay, fine. Well, maybe we'll do 6 months. But then by 6 months, that was when COVID hit. And so it's like, okay, well, I can't take a chance of my baby getting sick or my family getting sick, myself getting sick. And more than that, it's just not worth the risk. So maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And so let's move forward. And every time I played with the idea of it, it just was not happening. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just go in and do like a hair here and there. It just didn't happen. I mean, like at all. And so the summer, I began to start working on my daughter's birthday party. I didn't want to pay anybody to have it because, well, to plan it for me or help me make anything, because with COVID going on, I didn't know how things would go. And so I was planning a very small party, started making wood pieces for her party. And I promise, as I was doing it, it felt like meditation. God began to speak to me. And from there, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be getting my stuff from the salon, because at this point, I have my stuff in this place and I'm not paying rent. By the grace of God, I was afforded the opportunity to not have to pay rent. But how long do you stay in a place and take advantage? Because at this point now, you're abusing the thing that was gifted to you. And so I'm like, all right, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. Am I going back or not? Because if I'm not going back, I need to be getting my things. Now, God had already said this, but not flat out like that. So I played with the idea that maybe he wasn't seeing it like this. And then I was on the phone with my sister friends. We were in a prayer group. We were on the phone. And I promise, just as clear as day, I heard God say, you have to get your stuff and get it by this date. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go get this stuff. So I went and got it. And then when I went, he told me, like, not only do I need you to get your stuff, but I need you to sell it and give away a lot of things. Whatever you can't sell, give it away. And I left the salon in 2 days with a bucket full of stuff. And that bucket is like very small with things that I use on a day-to-day basis. But besides that, everything that I had is completely gone. I was mind blown.
The whole salon.
Everything. I have like a very little bit of things. Now, I was a independent contractor at that salon. And so it's 2 other stylists there. And one of them, we were talking about leaving together. However, her situation isn't mine. My situation isn't hers. And so how long am I going to keep saying I'm not going to do because somebody else isn't doing? But what they got for you?
So I was supposed to be potentially leaving with somebody else. So then that becomes my liners blanket, because if they're not leaving, I'm not leaving. Because if we're going to fall, we're going to fall together. I'm not going to fall by myself, huh?
Right. And then, you have people that depend on you. And so it's like, well, I need to do my part so that you can do your part. But also I need to figure it out, because this person is saying, if you leave, I'm leaving with you. But that means, like, in their mind, we're going to the next salon together. And it's like, that's not what God spoke to me. And I can't carry that baggage. I can't do that. Not even I can't, I won't do that. And so without letting that person know, it's like, this is what I have to do. I have to do it. And a lot of times we get comfortable with friends and we get comfortable with family, and we allow what they want from us or what they need from us to override what God is speaking to us. And I had to trust that if God told me what to do, he would tell her what to do, and that he would give her vision and provision to go forward, whatever that was, or whatever was needed. And so I did it, trusting that it would work out. And literally after I did it, he just was like, okay, and now work on the book, and now birth this, and now birth that. And so many things have just come forward that I had been working on for well over 2 years. The book didn't come, my process. The book didn't come overnight. However, it came when it was supposed to, but I wouldn't be fully committed to it if I was busy being a mother, a hairstylist, a wife, and so much more. It's like now I can just focus on being a mom, being a wife, and doing what God is telling me to do.
That part is so big. When you're trying to move and you're trying to tag someone along that is or is not supposed to be going with you,
right?
And then it slows you down, because if they really don't want to be doing what you're doing, because they have something else in mind,
right?
So in that process, would you say there were any moments of like fear of like, because so trusting God is one thing,
right?
Easy and hard at the same time, because like
absolutely.
Can you run it by me again, Jesus? Like,
right.
Let me clean my ear again. I'm trying to make sure that I'm hearing what it is that you're saying. So things of that sort. So sometimes you can feel a little scared or uncertainty. Can you share about that?
Absolutely. The analogy I'll use for that is Jesus walking on water. When you are walking a faith walk, it's not easy. It's not cute. It's not fun. I definitely cried. Definitely called my sister friends. Thank God it's a good 10 of us. One of them on the phone. Somebody gonna pray for me.
Yes.
I feel like I can't pray for myself, or even not even if I feel like I can't, just coming together with somebody else. Like, all right, we gotta agree on this thing. 2 or more have to come together and agree.
Yes, that's what it says. 2 or 3.
Listen, and so we do it, and that, for the most part, that's what got me through. The accountability, but also the discipline, and also, like I said, understand what my goal was. What's my goal? What's my purpose? What's my why? And no matter what, my daughter's on the forefront of my mind. Always. Everything I do moving forward, every day, everything I have done and everything that I do since the day I had her is intentional. And it's even more intentional now that I recognize that I am cultivating the life of an entire human without doing it intentionally. Doing it intentionally or not, she's watching everything I do. If I'm building something, she want to build it. If I'm drinking some water, she want to drink the water. This baby has not ever had a bottle. She won't take a bottle at all, but she'll drink a bottle of water. And I'm not talking about like a little bit, no, like gulp it down. And so it's like everything I do, she's paying attention to. And so understanding that there's purpose behind what I'm doing, even when it's uncomfortable, even when I'm crying, even when I'm scared, even when I fall short, and even if it don't work out the way that I thought it was going to work out, I have to have blind faith and trust that no matter what, God, not only do you have me, but this is cool. It's all good.
Yes.
I'm in a really great space where I recognize that we are co-creator with God. And so in understanding that, I understand that I overstand that I can do this. If you told me I can do it, then I can do it.
That's it.
I'm going to go through some human emotions. I'm going to experience some things. It's fair. You didn't promise that I wouldn't go through it. You promised that I would be okay and I would come out of it. And I promise every step of the way, he's taking care of me. And it's a beautiful thing where you really, really trust God. And then he just started dropping messages everywhere. It's on the radio. It's on the TV. You on Facebook. It's like, oh, yeah, I need it there right now.
Yes, yes.
Just the other day, I saw a post on the side of a wall. It's the same route leaving the gym and getting protein shake. For some reason, I saw it this one particular day, and I really needed it. And it said, take the leap and the net will appear. We've saw it before. We've heard it before. But that day, I needed it. And I'm like, God, you're right. You're so right. And the most beautiful thing is when you trust God. Oftentimes, the things that you say, you'll have to practice what you preach. And so it's a beautiful thing where it's like, okay, I just told Jennifer, no, Jennifer, you got to have faith. And then 2 days later, God is like, well, now you got to have faith. And then he came back what I said. Will you remember what you said to that person? And deeper than that, will you remember what you said to that person that I spoke into you? And so you got this message into me, and then I spoke it into her life, and then you turn it around and bring that message back to me. All of it was necessary, and all of it came from one source. And so if it's all coming from you, then I'm good.
And that's so big. I was I was talking to somebody today, and I was you'll be used to like encourage somebody else, and then you're going through your own stuff, but you're like trying to push them forward to go forward.
Yes.
They was like, and the same for you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, ain't nobody asked you. So, because sometimes you want to be in those moments, but it's so important to have somebody around you that can uplift you, pull you up, that can let you know it's going to work out. So your 10 girls that you had, whoever it is that you have, knowing, we talked about this last week, being intentional about who we're talking to, making sure that they have our best interest in heart. And we having the best interest in heart for that person too, because it's not 50-50, but it's a mutual relationship that we want to have with people.
And the reality is you give what you get. No matter what you believe in, that's true. It will always be true. And so I'm only going to give what I want. I'm not going to give anything to you that I don't want. And if at any point that I do, God literally deals with me right there. What you did was not all right. What you said was not all right. And it just makes you be accountable to who you are, but also reminds you of who you are not. Okay, that was because I like the way you dealt with me after that. It's like guys sitting you down like your father would when you're a kid, and then you got the puppy dog eyes. No, you don't got to cry now. You said it. Stand on it. That's what you said. Now I'm going to correct you. And I'm only correcting you because I want you to be better, and I want you to show up as your higher self.
Yes, it's like the meme of, then you say what you said. Yeah, you said what you said. Let's talk about it now. And really being caught on the carpet. And I'm appreciative for those moments too, because sometimes we do say some things. We want to be careful because power in life, we could definitely speak some positives, some negatives, but we want to be careful of the words that we're using. That's good. That's good. So when changing lanes in a car, because we're going to stick with this rule, and in a car, eventually we need a new one. But when changing lanes in a car, we should check our surroundings, checking out blind spots or alerting a signal that we want to move over and things. But you made a comment of how, like, with the person, you may or may not have like shared with them of how you had to leave, or sometimes we do share, like, I know we had this plan, but we can't do this anymore because I feel like I really need to do this. How does that process go? Because sometimes people's feelings get hurt.
Absolutely.
Because you're stepping outside of your box and you're like, no, but we comfortable in here, like that apple, no, the crab barrel, let's stay there. Where you going? Come on back down. No, the party is here. You go out there, you're gonna die. You're not gonna make it. Now, granted, the crab barrel, you do definitely not make it. The crab is when they get out. However, they don't know that. They just think that they're getting the freedom. But that's real, where people are always trying to like pull you down and things of that sort. What are some ways that you may have had to deal with that, and how did you overcome that?
This last time, by the grace of God, that's not what I had to deal with. However, I can't think of one thing in particular that has happened, but what I will say is when I'm not obedient to what God is telling me to do, what my spirit is nudging at me to do, that thing on the inside that's like won't leave, it just keep coming up. You just keep ignoring it, but then it just keeps coming up again. When that happens and I completely ignore it, turmoil kicks in. And so I've lost great relationships. I've lost opportunities. I've had doors closed in my face that were wide open for me. I've had times where God will allow me to see a thing He's spoken to my life come to pass in somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
I've had times where it's like, God, like, I'm doing all of the work. Why did you let that happen like, I'm busy helping all of these people in their birthday things. What about me?
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, yeah, but I told you what to do and you didn't want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, if we're going to talk about the car analogy, sometimes you do give a signal. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to just do what you have to do in that moment because I'm going to miss my exit. And I can't afford to miss my exit by worrying about you. I'm going to check my rear view. I'm clear. Then I have to go. And oftentimes we want to make sure the person next to us is okay with what we're doing. But when you're driving, you don't do that. I'm not worrying about what you think in the back seat. I'm probably going to tell you to have a seat, sit all the way back, put your seatbelt on and put some earphones on. Don't look out the window. Don't look straight ahead. Just put your head down. We'll get there. That being said, that's how you have to be sometimes with your life. Not sometimes. You have to be like that all the time with your life. You're in control. You're the one driving. Remain calm. If you have to jump lanes, jump lanes. If you have to do 90 miles an hour, check your rear view. But do it.
Check your rear view for the red line blue.
But the beauty and the flip of that is when you are obedient, not only will God step in, but even more doors will open up, greater opportunities will come, and you won't take a chance of jeopardizing relationships and opportunities were right there for you, because oftentimes when you do that, it pours over into something else. And so I just love my relationship with Jennifer, but Jennifer was connected to the person that was taking me somewhere else. And now I've messed it up. I don't believe we can mess anything up, but you can delay it.
You can delay it.
Yeah. And even use that as a car analogy. God told you to jump lanes and get over there, and you decided you didn't want to because what Jennifer's going to think on the passenger side. And so now you don't do what you're supposed to do, and you have to drive an extra 5 miles down. And now you're missing this opportunity, or you're missing whatever you were supposed to be at. Although it may have only taken 15 minutes, blessings have happened in 5.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in a car where we riding and we get to chatting. I was like, that was my exit. Now we got to pay a toll because we're on a road where that was our last exit.
Right.
You got to hope that you prepare for that too. Do I have any cash?
Yes.
So sometimes missing your exit costs you.
Yeah.
Because did I have money for that toll? I did, but sometimes you may or may not have it. So then you have to figure out how you're going to make it happen now, because had you got your exit, you would have been great. You would have had more extra coins in your pockets and things of that sort. Right. So really being mindful of that. It's funny. I saw this video the other day. I put it down to scratch my notes and things. We're going to get there. But the car was coming up and the exit was on the right.
Right.
They're in the middle lane on a highway. It's trucks coming. One truck comes, it's like turning and switching to try not to hit that car. That car is sitting there unafraid, unashamed, like, look, I'm getting off at this exit. Another truck comes on the right of it, and he's like doing this like turning thing. I said, this car is causing all these exits. I'm like, is this car gonna get hit? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Once everything is clear for that car to move, the car moves right on over, gets off at its exit. Now, what done caused all these accidents?
Don't care who I've disrupted. I have to get at this exit. It has to be like this sometimes. Sorry, but it does. Sorry, not sorry.
It was crazy. But some lessons that I had learned from it, I was like, one, your detour can be as random as finding out you're about to miss your exit at the wrong moment. Because sometimes you can find out, or ahead of time, or it's like you got to move, and then sometimes you move and you bump into others, or it's going to derail some other people if they're not paying attention. Sometimes they are paying attention, but they still don't want to like mess you up, and they're trying to move with things. And some accidents can be avoided if we paid attention when we first felt in our gut to move. So like Rashidah sharing of how like God is certain things that sort, and sometimes it's our gut. It's like, don't do that. Right. Or say, don't eat that. And we'll do these things. Or a good example too is like I was eating something and it just tastes off to me. And I went to taste it again, it still tastes off. One, the gut say stop. Because the stomach doesn't like what it is that you're eating. Had I continued, it would have been worse. I did still like get a little stomach bug from it and things of that sort. But sometimes we feel in our gut that we need to stop doing something, but we keep on going for gratification of whatever sort. And then we get messed up. So knowing when to like really stop, move back, step away, get out of that.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about that too, though. But sometimes it's good staying in that moment. It's like, well, maybe I like being sick because it's woe is me. Or maybe I like being here with my friend because we're here together, so we're gonna be good. We could come here and crack up, and things of that sort. But what happens when we miss out, as you said, on those open doors that were designed just for you because you were too comfortable being where you were?
We find ourselves complacent, questioning God, questioning if He really spoke certain things over our life, questioning why. And oftentimes we blame God, not recognizing that it was us all along. Going back to that co-creator part, a lot of times when something is happening in my life that is like, okay, this does not have to be happening. This is a very negative thing. What did I do? What did I shift in my thinking that is now bringing this thing forth? Because it's something that changed. And I'm like conscious of that. What changed that I feel like this now? Who was I around? What did I watch? What did I digest? What did I take in? All of that matters. All of that matters. One thing that I did today, my sister, this is off, but it'll come back to where I'm talking about. My sister and I were on a prayer line this morning, and I let them know that I had to speak today. And my prayer request was not to be prepared. And what I was saying is not to be prepared by writing down what I'm going to say, or, getting in front of a mirror and saying, this is what you're going to say today. I didn't do any of those things. That's not what being prepared looked like for me. And so it was important for me to honor what was true to me. Instead of being prepared that way, I wanted to be prepared, allow the Spirit to use me. And so instead of speaking from a piece of paper, speaking my truth and speaking from what the Spirit has told me to do, what the Spirit has told me to say, there have been times where I've done the exact opposite, tried to prepare because, this person speaks and this is how they prepare, or, my friend speaks this way and this is how she prepares. Me ask them because they've done it before. And then not that what they're saying is wrong, it's just not for me. And so I do it. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, I could have said, I should have said. When you're present, you don't have to question if you said or didn't say. And so preparation for me today looked like getting on the prayer line, meditating after the prayer line, taking a shower and spending time with my daughter, going to the gym, getting something healthy to eat, coming back home, spending time with my family, getting in the tub, meditating again. And then how do I feel right now? Checking in with myself. How do I feel right now? What do I want from this experience? What is my goal through this experience? And from doing that, I am now prepared. So all in all, I believe that in everything that we do, honor what's true to you and stop fighting the thing that's not for you.
Girl, and what you just said, you kind of summed up that theme and thing for the month for the move forward. Like you affirmed some things, you addressed your mental health to keep yourself sane. You did some self-care pieces to keep yourself level-headed. You identified the areas where you were healed in and healing in to keep yourself together. And then you just pivoted as needed. Like, all right, that's a question. That's a good one. Let me think on that. This is what I want to share with that, top of the head. And that's some things we have to do because sometimes we overwork ourselves. We overwhelm ourselves. And we want to be careful with that.
Absolutely. Even the part about what was it you just said? Something you just said. Preparing for today. I wanted to take a nap when I came back. I worked out for at least 3 hours. I didn't do it intentionally. And so I came home and as soon as I got in front of the door, I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. And so I was on the phone with a good friend and she was like, well, go lay down. I'm like, all right, hopefully the baby is asleep. If not, then I won't. I'm coming out that she sleeps. So of course it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to take a nap with her. And then my spirit was like, no, you need to go take a bed and just get your thoughts together. And so I did. And then I get out and I'm just sitting and chilling. I'm like, well, she's not up yet. And literally God gives you what you need. And so even that small thing is when I walked in the door, my plan was to take a nap. I had the opportunity to take a nap and my spirit said, no, you don't need rest. You need to continue to move forward. Yeah.
That's good. Let me see. Hey, Mama Wanda. She said, I love 90 miles an hour. Check the mirror. Mama Wanda.
And the seatbelt. Don't forget the seatbelt.
No, don't be doing 90, Mama Wanda. Don't do it. Oh, my goodness. She said a great analogy. Yes, Rashidah had some good analogies on tonight. This is going good. Let me see what Crystal said. I'm still stuck on Mama Wanda. She said, because sometimes it's literally life or death if you miss that exit. It takes so much to turn back around, go back after you've missed that exit. It takes so much.
Yes.
So much. Sometimes we mix the exit with a relationship and trying to find ourselves again. It's something else.
Come on and preach tonight.
Girl, I'm just reading Crystal's comments, and we got another Crystal. She said we always have to be open to change.
Yes.
Sometimes it is going to be difficult to move in a different space, but we have to allow it because it allows progression. So
Yes.
true, but
It's true.
it's so hard sometimes, or it
Yeah.
feels hard because it's a new norm, or we're finding something that's not where we're used to. But I promise, there's some benefits to it. You posted a little while ago. You wait a minute. I'm gonna read exactly what the post said. I was like, when she said, I was like, this is good. She ready already. Didn't even know. You said today I
Okay.
posted some wigs that are on sale on my hair business page, and
Mhm.
for a hot second, I missed doing hair, the clients, the vibes, and the salon atmosphere. Then I looked over at my sleeping baby, and it went away. Then you said it's okay to miss your past. That does not mean that you should go back to it.
Right.
Tell me
Right.
about that because sometimes you do miss and you feel like,
I need to
oh,
hear that right now. Thank you. um, Going back to us, like I said, past relationships, past opportunities. There are times where I've missed a thing, or vice versa. That thing missed me. It could be a friend that missed me. It could be a group of people I used to hang with, or a place that I used to visit often.
mm-hmm,
And I'll go back to that place because it's familiar, not
mm-hmm,
that it's right.
mm-hmm,
And you'll know it's not right because oftentimes you have to go out of your way to do that thing. I mean,
mm-hmm,
like literally go all the way around just to do this thing. And at that point, you're people pleasing. You're not doing what you feel like you're supposed to do.
mm-hmm,
You're not doing what God told you to do. You're not
mm-hmm,
doing any of those things. You are literally doing something because you want to make somebody feel good. But is it right?
and that's to help you.
And does it help you? Yeah. And that's where I am now. It's like if it doesn't work for me and it's not right for me, then I can't do it. And you have to be careful with who you listen to in those times because it's very sensitive. I had an experience last year where I went off like into the deep, dark deep for a couple of weeks, and it was because a person that's very close to me said something about what my decision was to pivot.
Mm-hmm,
And at the time, it's just like, no, you really need to do hair because it's like a real thing for you and you're so great at it. And why would you leave it? And blah, blah, blah. And I was brought to tears. So, like the frustrated tears, I want to punch you in your face, that kind.
mm-hmm,
And I had to really sit and deal with myself. And I'm thankful that it happened because after the fact, God really sat with me and dealt with me. And because at first it was just like, God, take this feeling away, take this feeling away. But no, I needed to sit in that feeling. I needed to feel it deeply and
mm-hmm,
understand why I felt that and why what that person said affected me the way that it did. That's
mm-hmm,
what I learned from it. It affected me because I really trusted that person. It affected
mm-hmm,
me because that person is very successful. And it affected me because I felt like, why you just can't see what I see?
mm-hmm,
It is not for you to see what I see. God didn't share my vision with you. And even if I shared it with you, you still couldn't see what he showed me. And so I'm understanding that now it's like, okay, it was okay for you to feel like that. And God is like, but do you still hear me?
mm-hmm,
Connected to me in a way that if somebody speaks something over you that's not for you, you can rebuke it and move forward.
mm-hmm,
And so I dealt with it for a little bit. And then afterwards, it's like, okay, cool. That's how you feel. And I'm still going to move forward. The irony of life is that person turned right back around. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Like, you are killing it. And
mm-hmm,
so it's like you can't focus on what people think or how they feel. And it's not that the person is saying anything wrong. You just
mm-hmm,
have to be connected to the
yeah,
divine source and be so clear on hearing that you know for sure you don't know nothing else. I heard what I heard and I'm gonna stand on what I'm gonna stand on. I love you. And with
mm-hmm,
all due respect, no.
mm-hmm,
I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, a woman that I respect like a mother to me. We were having a conversation and I told her that I was going to have a home birth. And she's like, oh, sharing her experience. And it was dark what she was saying. The things that she was saying was really dark. And she went as far as talking about how she almost lost her daughter. And then when she had her daughter, she had health problems and all of these different things. And I had to say to her, with all due respect, I've known you well over 10 years and I would never say anything to disrespect you. I would never even combat anything that you're saying. However, I have to say this. I mean, it was like my daughter was speaking up for me at that point. I can't process what you are saying. I can't even listen to it. I have to stop you mid-story because if I let you finish what you are saying, it will do more damage than good, and I will process this longer than I need to, which means that a seed is planted and something will come forth from it. I can't do that.
Mm.
I can't do that. And we have to be like that no matter what it is. Whether we're carrying a gift or not, I believe that we're always carrying something. But we have to be sensitive enough to know that what you are saying is not positive and I cannot digest this. Why would I ever eat something that I don't want to sit in my belly? We have to think about it the same way we wouldn't eat something that we don't like or something that's not for us or something like you just said that doesn't taste right. It process things in our brain that doesn't feel right, that's not stimulating us for good, or that's not planted to bring forth fruit.
That's so big. That pivot from people that you trust, that you look up to, that sometimes say things. And again, everybody has their days. So they have their moments where they're doing great, not doing so great. And they can mean well in what they're saying, but because it's not the right time for you to hear, it's like, okay, let's talk later. You know, whatever it is that you get out of it. Mama Wanda said, I love your honesty. Punch them in the face, honest. Lord.
I love her.
I love Mama Wanda too, but with the 90 and her punching in the Lord, let's pray.
I love it even more now.
but you know, that's it. Sometimes like people take you there because you feel like let me see. Jamie said yes. God said, but do you hear that? Do you hear me? And that is the part of like really listening or like trusting your gut of knowing what it is you're supposed to do next. So it's like sometimes you just have in your mind a prime example. The other day, the day got mixed up, so I was like, all right, let me get something to eat. And I kept hearing to go one place. And I was like, no, but I'm gonna try this place. And I tried this place, and it was not as good as I would have hoped it to be. And sometimes our gut is telling us, don't go there, go here. And we just gotta be like, no, I'm gonna go here. Now I have written my notes, so I know not to go there again and get that item that I got. But the thing of really trusting your gut, like no matter who it is, no matter what it is, like really having trust in yourself. Like you've made some good decisions before. We made some bad decisions, but there's some times where we know without a shadow of a doubt that we should be leaving a situation, that we should approach this situation, that we should think a little bit more about this situation before getting ourselves caught up in a web of lights that we can't get ourselves out of.
Right. And then want to cry and say, God, please help. And he's like, you're asking me help when you was getting yourself into this. The other part is also just being able to trust that I've been through so many things. And with all the things that I've been through, I'm still here, right? So if I'm here, that means that I've had to have done more good than I've done bad. Not spelling it good or bad. I'm using that for lack of better words. But that I've done more things that are a benefit of my life than I've done that aren't, because I'm still here.
Yes.
So I have another fighting chance today.
Yeah.
I have that chance. And even if I'm unsure, as long as I put one foot out, God will help me with the next one.
Absolutely.
But also, even going back to the part about while pivoting, trusting the face of other people. When we do that, sometimes we can make people our God without realizing it. Now I'm checking in with you, but without checking in him. I'm not checking in with the divine source, but here I am saying, well, Jennifer, what you think? Well, God, what do you think? Is what I should be, and that should be my position. And more than that, Rashidah, what do also not more than that, but taking the time to say, Rashidah, what do you think, God? What do you think? Checking with yourself.
Yes. And I try to do it. I give it back. Well, what's your thoughts on it? So I put a therapy right on in a second with friends, and like they'll tell me which one they want. If they want Jen, they want the sister, they want auntie, they want whatever else. A friend the other day, she said, "Put your therapist hat on. Thank you for letting me know what you want today." But you definitely wanted to check in of like what I never take for granted when somebody is telling me their life story or ask me for support and advice and things of that sort. So I'm really like, all right, God, some people hold my words a little higher than I think they should hold them. Because I feel humbled in it. Like I'm grateful. Like it's not that you have to talk to me, things of that sort. But I really like taking that into consideration. Like, all right, God, what advice would you want me to give them? what advice would I give myself if I was in that situation? I'm like, definitely praise to God. I'm going to put God in there somewhere, but also the common sense pieces that, help us, or like bringing clarity and connecting dots and things of that sort. But it's so important of being, not becoming somebody's guide, but sometimes we get in situations, or we've been in different things, so we feel like we know what all is all be all, and we're not. And we want to really just always, one, not have somebody dependent, because it's going to be that day where you really ain't feeling it, and they're going to be upset because you can't meet that need, you can't fulfill that purpose, and that's not the purpose that you're supposed to fulfill. So really redirecting them as needed, but also giving them sound words of wisdom that you will want somebody to give you. Not you putting yourself above, or making it where like they got this, you got this hold on them. They talk about mentorship too. Sometimes they say like, you're just trying to boss us around. No, good mentors really help you and push you to do what it is that you're trying to do with guidance, because they see some things that you don't see. The mentor, hopefully, is somebody that is more educated in that area than you are, so that they can guide you right. You getting somebody that just got out of school for something. Not saying they don't know what they're doing, but what I'm saying is the levels of it. A baby or a pro or proficient person in the area, knowing those areas.
I absolutely agree. Very true.
Another thing I put about pivoting, sometimes we have to change our address. Sometimes we have to change our phone number. Sometimes we have to take a different route home. You ever took a different route home and then found out something else?
Ever. One thing that I love to do, any of my really close friends know, I like to get lost. I love to get lost. I'm always up like, oh yeah, look at those houses. Those are beautiful. Look at that playground. That's nice. Look at that. You see things outside of what you see every day is very important. From a creative perspective, it's very important to make sure that you see different things. And in my case, I like to travel a lot. And if I can't travel, i.e. COVID, I need to be able to explore some way, somehow. So I would drive. And I don't know where I'm going. I'm just driving. And it's interesting, when you get lost, you find yourself anyway. It's like, oh, that was my starting point right there.
I just want to make sure you have gas on those trips that you're doing. And please don't go in all the time, because, they be in the nooks and crannies. I don't want you to have no problems, okay? Check the rear mirror mover. Check the rear mirror. Seatbelt on.
At that point, I'm just going to go 90. I'm playing.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. But pivoting is great. Definitely like going a different way. Another good thing about that, or what you said too, is when you are aspiring to do something greater, you can't stay in your same old hood, not hood in a bad way, but your same neighborhood that you want to go somewhere else so you can get more ideas and fresh nuggets of, okay, I could do that. This is nice. A good idea is sometimes Pinterest too. It expands what you see. Pinterest show you, oh, I could put that together like that. I need even know at the Dollar Tree I could do some do-it-yourself creations. So you want to expand though, but you have to put yourself in a position to learn more, so that you can continue to better yourself as you are changing and moving around and doing different things.
And like I said, everything is a seed planet. So understanding that everything is a seed planet, me seeing the same thing every single day. It's not a shocker that I'm still here. Versus seeing things from a different perspective, seeing things from a different perception, having a conversation with people outside of your day-to-day will help you to grow in your horizons, will help you to deeper your understanding, but also you'll gain so much wisdom in the process.
So much wisdom in the process. Catherine said, yes, I absolutely love Pinterest. I have so many boards on Pinterest. This is sad shame. Hopefully one day I'll do all of the different recipes I found, all the different do-it-yourself things I found. But even in that helps you to really ground yourself. I want to go back to like how you prepared yourself for even today, of that self-care piece, of really taking a moment to pause. I have some books. I have a lot of books. And all of those books I have not read all of them. But I'm purposing in myself to like really sit down, take a break back from something to read, because, reading really opens up your minds. I mean, you could watch a TV show and it does that too, but reading, it really is taking your mind where you're focused a little bit more. You're really in tune, especially if it's like a self-help book or a book related to something you're interested in to learn more. Because again, you want to pivot. You want to know what it is that you're doing when you do move. You know,
Yep.
I have become proficient in doing hair. You got that out the book, right?
Right.
But then when you want to move into something else, you now have to educate yourself in that area so you know what it is that you're doing. Because you still want to provide a quality service to anybody that you're helping. And I always want to learn, how can I better support people, improving communication styles, improving listening skills, you know, because I need to hear so I can then give back the words and things of that sort, or make sure I'm hearing correctly. And if my mind is going 1,000 miles a minute, I got to be able to tone it in. All right, what is Rashidah saying?
Yes.
I can't be worried about, did I turn the stove off? Is the
Yes.
water running? Did I lock the door? Did I lock the car? Did I leave that on the front seat? You know, because our minds, it's almost like a prayer. They say, you know, when you want to pray, everything in the moon that comes to your mind.
Yes.
It's like, what you want to have for dinner? No, you had that yesterday. Jesus, like, I thought you was talking to me, daughter.
Yeah.
You know, so really like getting yourself in tune to like really be focused on what it is that you're trying to do and educating yourself on how to, you know, move forward. Mom G had put, where is it? The exit and rerouting to start again. You don't want to have to start all over again if you don't have to. You want to be able to, however we do. Sometimes we do have to start over, but if we can help it, sometimes we want to be able to get it right in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the opportunity to do it, so why not?
So let's talk about you walking onto the water and starting this event and intimate. How is it going? You know, I saw a couple of your projects, and I wish I had pulled one of the pictures, or I think you showed them to me though, so I don't know where they were. The pieces that you've done and how others went to pieces and how it's opening up other doors. Your pivot is showing like, oh, this is like a couple doors that's open. Let me take this lane a little while longer. What was I waiting for? Tell us about this. How is it going and how has it been a blessing to you?
It's been amazing. It is amazing. Like I said, it started out with me creating some pieces just for my daughter's birthday. And then once I started the process, it's like, oh, I can't stop. I have to keep going. I need to see this thing through. And it's, you know, one of those things where it's like, I have a vision. I have a clear vision on what I want. I have to make sure that I execute this vision. And I did it. And then from there, my daughter's birthday was on August 29th. My sister's birthday was September 3rd. So I used the same bar that I made for my daughter's birthday and the wood piece that was used for her honeycomb. I repurposed it and used it for my sister's birthday and put candles inside of them for her particular event. And then for me, repurposing them and showing pictures on how I used it both times. Other people were like, can you make me one? Can I have that one? Can I rent it? Do you do events? And then it just went from there. In a matter of 3 weeks, I had booked at least 8 events. Yep. And so it's been a blessing. It's growing. So many people are donating things. One of my sisters just gave me a ring that I used the other day, and then she gave me these leather totes. I'm a girl that loves vintage pieces. She gave me these leather totes that I can use. So yeah, not only
I need to see these. That seems nice.
Oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. They're so nice. And so, yes, not only has it been a blessing, but through the process, I've been learning so much. I've been connecting with some wonderful people. I was able to take a flower class and learn how to do flower arrangements. So if it's somebody that has a budget, they don't have to outsource. I can do everything myself. So yeah, it's been a really, really wonderful experience. For me, it's the freedom that comes with it and just being able to create. The people that I attract by the grace of God usually don't know what they want and they just trust my vision. They just have a budget. And so I'm able to explore and do whatever I want. And it's amazing. It is so amazing. And it affords me the opportunity to be with my daughter. I can take her with me to set up, or, you know, even if she doesn't go with me, I'm literally leaving for a couple hours to set up. Coming back, I'm picking the thing up later. And at that point, there are people to help me do it. So it's really fast. So yeah, I'm still able to stay home and be present with her, and that's a blessing in itself.
A couple of episodes ago, maybe I think it was in December when we had Dr. Proctor, and we talking about pay for peace, and you were talking about how you made the bar out of the wood piece and how people wanted to rent it, possibly have one. And what happens is if somebody sees that you can do it, there's 2 different ways that happen. Actually 3. I'm going to try it myself. I'm going to forget about it, or I'm going to get it from you and pay you for it.
Right.
And sometimes we have talents and gifts that can be monetized where we can reap a benefit from it, because some people don't have the time to do it. Some people don't have the skill to do it. Some people might be like, I done got 5 splinters, I'm done. So people staying in their lane. So really being able to trust, like you said, trusting your judgment on how to create this lavish thing. I met a girl at a kid's birthday party. I think this was pre-corona. I don't know when it was. It's all running together now. But the same thing, she was sharing some images of things that she's done. I said, these are things you can make money off of. And sometimes our full-time hustle causes us to become overwhelmed and things that sort of we're not as fulfilled. So you pick up a side hustle of something that you really enjoy, because that helps you to keep going. And then sometimes you can make that a full-time gig.
Absolutely. So for me, I have been playing around with it for years. It's something that I've always been very creative, always been very artsy. And I like to try things. If it's something that I can't do, I want to try it. It doesn't mean that I want to do it professionally. I just want to know how to do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it. And so from doing that, I've just been able to see like, oh, that's not hard at all, or this isn't hard at all. I really like doing it. And then there are other things where it's like, oh, okay, I know how to do it, but I don't want to, and that's okay. The other part is when you do what God asks you to do, the favor that's attached to it will have people paying you for things that you know for sure they can do. For sure. There are people that are have been event planners for years, and they're like, I just want to support you. Can you make me one? I just want to support you. Can you make me one? Yeah, and it's a true blessing. But going back to the piece about working on myself, if I didn't work for myself and on my, I wouldn't be as clear as I am, and I wouldn't be able to hear God the way that I do, and then I wouldn't be able to be present. And so I'm thankful for going to therapy and working on myself, because I was able to recognize that imposter syndrome is something that I was dealing with. And I basically, with imposter syndrome, I don't have the exact definition in front of me, but basically with imposter syndrome, you'll walk into a room feeling like you're not supposed to be there. Why am I here? Why did they hire me? I'm not good enough. While these people are on the other hand are like, not only are you not good enough, we are honored to have you. And that has been my story with so many things. And so finally, from going to therapy, once the opportunities came to do events, it's like, oh, well, I'm going to go. I have no choice but to go, because I'm not allowing imposter syndrome to show up and tell me that I'm not capable of doing it. I'm more than capable. I'm more than equipped. I have everything I need in my tool belt. God is with me. God is in me. God is behind me and before me. So I'm going to do it. And with each event, I've gained more confidence. I've gained more resources. I've learned through the process, and I am literally building my business now, God willing, producing the building this year.
Yes.
Literally pour over. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you. It's going to be amazing. Definitely knowing that just because you switch, I mean, hey, you could do hair if ever you wanted to, not necessarily full time, but as needed to still, fill that, not void, but to fill that itch that may come sometimes. Like, I just want to do some hair, playing some hair, things of that sort.
Right.
I was told that Todd Delaney, I didn't know, he was a baseball player.
Wow.
And now he's a whole gospel artist full time. Like, oh, okay, because sometimes we change and move into a different field. It doesn't mean that we weren't good in the field that we were. It doesn't mean that we didn't know what we were doing. Now, sometimes we pivot because that's not for us. If I'll never forget, growing up, I was a telemarketer. Did not last very long. I was not good with calling people, trying to, get them to buy stuff. I could talk to people, but I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's dinner time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's not my field. I'm not a salesperson. I probably can't get you.
Right.
But then a job working at McDonald's, one of my favorite first-time jobs. The hustle and bustle of getting people sandwiches together, make sure the fries right. She could do that, keep that going. But it was time to change. That wasn't my end-all be-all. I then moved into something else. So being okay that though you are good at that, once you master something, you don't have to necessarily stay in that. And go back to the part. But, you don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
You have options.
We have so many options. God promises us a life of abundance. And in that, abundance is whatever you want it to be, whatever you want it to look like. It has a limit to it. And he gave us dominion over all things. So you can do whatever you want. By the grace of God, it has been prophesied over my life time and time again, and everything I touch turn into gold. But when you're a child, you don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Even as I became an adult, I'm like, what does that mean? What exactly
Mm-hmm.
does that mean? But I realize now everything that I've ever done with my hands has been a masterpiece. Doesn't matter if it was waving hair, curling hair, trimming hair, and making it grow in their back, or creating wood pieces with nothing at all. And literally, God blessed me with every tool. I didn't have to buy not a tool, and I had everything. And I'm talking about like going to the lumberyard a couple times a week getting wood. That's how much I was doing. I was able to do it without having any schooling or anything. And I even tried to go to school and it just wasn't working out. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to keep doing it the way that God is allowing me to.
It's and working. That's too. Everybody doesn't go to school. You just have a gift for it and you just know how to do it.
Well, not only that, school can look like something different for everybody. One thing that my husband spoke over me for this particular thing is recognizing that I'm living in the pivot right now. And so I told him, like, oh my God, I ran into Jennifer and guest she asked me to come onto her show. And I'm telling him and everything. He was like, oh, so what's your topic? I'm like, she's going to send it to me. So then when you send it over to me, I'm like, oh, my topic is to pivot. And he was like, oh, well, you got that. No big deal. So fast forward to yesterday, I get your email and I'm in the process of doing a baby shower. I'm like, wait, it's tomorrow? Like tomorrow Monday, not the next Monday? I'm thinking it's like next Monday. No. Yes. And of course, naturally, it's like, oh my goodness. And I was like, well, be present where you are right now and get this baby shower done. I did that. I came home, put my daughter to bed, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to do this thing tomorrow. And I heard what he said, clear as day, like you are already living in it. And so fast forward to this morning, it's like, well, because I have been pivoting and I am currently pivoting, it's nothing to prepare for. Just be prepared to hear God. That's it. That's the only have to be prepared to do. And if we would just live like that with everything, we would be so free when stuff happens or doesn't go our way. We'll trust that this is supposed to be happening. How, why, I'm not sure. The only thing I know is this is my goal and I'm still going to make it even if I have to detour.
I was going to ask you for a summary, but that right there was everything I needed. Because we get in a tizzy and don't need to be like, you got this.
What are you getting so upset about? Calm down. Calm down. It's like watching a toddler, watching my daughter have a fit because she's sleepy. And in the moment she sleeps down, she's like finally calms down. Before she gets like really, really tired. No, she's already tired. But before she starts to calm down, it's like, and then eventually it's like, you just gave in. Why were you waiting me for a half hour? Are you crazy? I'll let her. I'm the mom that's just like, well, go right ahead. You're just gonna sleep another hour. Fine, go right for it. And then she just sleeps as she and it's like, girl, you know, you could have been sleeping peaceful like that for the last 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Instead, you had to have a fit. And I feel like that's how God is with us. You sitting over here having a fit when I already have the plan mapped out, laid out. You done prayed, asked me and you done fast and you done did a detox and you asked me again and then you asked me again and I showed you a sign that I'm doing it, but you asked me again and then you done went to the altar, you done called your pastor for prayer, you done asked me again. Meanwhile, I already took care of that. What are you worried about? Move forward in something else because you're not being present.
So I feel like you step on my toes a little bit right now.
I'm not going to take it off. I'm joking.
You just stepped on my toes because sometimes we get in those moments, right? We hear it, we know what we're supposed to do, but we still be like, but is it going to happen? Is it going to work out? When is it going to work out? That's the question. When is it going to work out? Did you forget me?
How is it going to work out?
How is it going to work out?
That don't make sense
for me, girl.
You told me that, God. Tell me. And he be like, I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you that.
Let me just make a public declaration.
I'm sorry, what you say?
I said, let's make a public declaration that my friends that are watching, don't send me no messages when this is over. I heard what she said. Okay. They still gonna be like, but did you?
My friends that have children before I had my daughter, my analogy would always be, if your kid asks you that, what would you say? You calling me, asking me to pray with you about something that we done prayed about 10 times over. And anybody that know me know I'm a prayer warrior. I'm going to go in. But if I go in, not if, when I go in, it's sure to come to pass. Let's leave it alone. Why you keep calling me? I'm not praying about it no more. And I be dead serious. I'm not praying about it no more. Not. All right, he answered it already. He just not doing it on your time, so you mad. I don't have nothing to do with that. Take that up with the Lord. Do whatever you need to do, but I'm not getting in on it with you no more. It's done. It is so. That's
So it
it.
was so nice to have our sister on tonight.
No, you have to let me finish.
We're not gonna keep on getting them. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep my life together.
I've always been the one to say stuff that's like, why did she have to say that? That's just my position. That being said, if you had children and they said, Mom, what are we going to eat tonight? You're going to say we're going to eat blah, 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 whatever. We're going to have some macaroni and cheese, some collard greens, and some fried chicken with some yeast rolls. And then they say, well, Mom, you sure you're going to be able to make that tonight? Because I heard you on the phone saying blah, blah, blah. I said, that's what we're going to eat. That's what we're going to eat. And then they come back because it doesn't smell like it. They've been playing outside for a little bit. And they come back and it's like, well, it don't smell like chicken. I mean, it's on the macaroni and cheese should at least be enough. You sure that's what we're going to eat tonight? And you're about to get popped in the top of your head because I said that we're going to eat and you being grown, overstepping your boundaries at this point. That's how I grew up. Now, enough is enough. I said we're going to eat. You're going to eat. You always eat. You never not eat. So don't ask me again, are we going to eat? That's how God is. Why you keep asking me that? You keep saying it. I'm sure he don't have an attitude like me. But if I was God, I would be like, ask again, Jennifer. Ask again. Ask one more time. And you're going to delay it. But he's not like that. He's like, you ask me 50 million times, I'm still going to do it. But you don't make me move how you keep saying it. And that's how parents are. I'm not moving any faster. You ask me to do it, I'm going to do it. I told you that I'm going to do it. I proved that I have done it. You know my track record. I never not show up. No matter who hasn't showed up in your life, that's never been my position. I'm going to do it. And that's how God is. I'm going to do it. It's done. You ask. Oh, that's it.
Amen.
Amen.
Just say can't box with God. You just hear, you just say amen.
Amen. It's no way we get knocked out clean. Don't do it. We have to finish this. You can't get knocked out.
Jamie said Rashidah Williams is creative and her gifts is in her hands.
Thank you, my love.
Mama Wanda said, I love this. I'm 66 and I'm so learning so much from these beautiful, smart women. I have so much hope. Mama Wanda, just don't do that 90 because
Mama Wanda, do the 90, but like I need to meet her. I love her. I love her.
Don't, Mama Wanda. Don't do it. Don't do it. Sean said we have options. Yes, we do, sis. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Great statement. She said a lot of great statements. Don't send me no messages later on, no, Crystal. Mama G said, yes, what a summary. Hollering from the mountains. Preach, teach. Didn't she? Just got me all together.
Over my life, I received
Crystal, a whole word, sis.
Thank you.
You trusted me. Don't be giving them eyes, girl. Because that's what Jesus be doing. Like, but you said, you're right. You're right. Alexa's all on our toes. Wow. Amen. Always consistent, faithful, true.
Yes.
It's taking us somewhere. You know, last week I was like, you know, I make no apologies for how drink years go because it's all for your life. It's all for the betterment of your natural, spiritual, holistic, you know, life and things of that sort. And I always just hope that everybody walks away with something, some bit of encouragement. And if you didn't get it tonight, believe you me, I got it tonight because sometimes I have to be reminded that if God said it, it's going to come to pass. I can't worry. I can't fret. I can't get myself in a tizzy. I can't do a detour on a road that he didn't tell me to go on. I had to stay in my lane and just trust and believe that when it's time, he will bring it to pass.
Amen. Imagine trying to take the car and reverse on the expressway. That's the most dangerous thing. People have done it and people have died. And trust me, the few that did make it out gave themselves a heart attack. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Move forward and pivot.
Move forward and pivot. My heart is glad. I really ain't got nothing else for you. Sis, you got something else you want to tell us tonight?
Be intentional. Know that you have wisdom, so use it. Know that you have an inner compass. Listen to it. Be obedient and follow what is true. You are true. So if you said it, then it's right. And it doesn't have to be right for anybody else. It just has to be right for you. Honor yours. and move forward and pivot.
Oh, Miss Dama, amen. That's right, amen.
Amen.
We was in church and say the doors of the church are open. But yo, I thank you.
Thank you. This is going
for me.
This was planted, and I appreciate it. So thank you. I appreciate
you. So y'all be sure to get in contact with Rashidah if you want to follow her. It's Rashidah_428 on Instagram. I did tag her on a Facebook post, so when I share this video, yeah, my heart is overwhelmed. Whew. She was a phenomenal job, Sheeta. Absolutely. That girl.
Thank you.
My souls.
That's one of my prayer warriors.
Be intentional. I'm scared of y'all. I'm teasing. It's a blessing to have good prayer warriors. We got some. I got some. Clapping hands. Yes. It was so very good. But be sure to follow her. I would see what that bar looked like if she did post it. I mean, it really was a nice job. However she put that together, I would probably pay her as well to get that if I needed it for something, or borrow it, rent it, things of that sort. But do be sure to just follow, send her a word of encouragement, send her a message, drop in a DM, like, you really blessed my heart, because, those are the things that keep you going, and keeps you encouraged so that you keep on going, that you don't give up, because pivoting is not always hard. Sometimes it is easy, but sometimes you're like, did I do it right? Did I not do it right? But you said, I got to keep going. So, whew.
Yep. And there's even that compass piece. If you worried about if you did it right or wrong, you'll know. The inside will go to speaking. Their Holy Spirit will go to speaking. And if you did something wrong, you will be convicted. If you are not convicted, move forward in peace, and do not try to live in survival mode. No, we are out of that. When we're in upper, higher, not lower.
Oh, I must watch the replay too, Mom G. I'm proud of her too. Did she do that?
Thank you.
And I really do watch the replays, because I do a rewind that I post on Thursdays. I hope people watch them. I don't know, or at least share them and things of that sort. But I get so encouraged all over again, and I'm so excited to be able to offer the service. I'm so excited for the encouragement that I get, and reading the comments, seeing the encouragement that others get, knowing that this is not in vain. This pivot to doing cares was not in vain. So I'm truly, 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 truly grateful. Thank you again so much.
Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful night and a very blessed new year.
You do the same. Oh, see you, girl. I'm gonna be in touch though.
All right.
Oh goodness, good night. Oh my goodness, she just did that thing. I mean, she just told us like it was. Was it good for you? Ooh, I'm gonna read your comments, but I gotta get my life together, because she stepped on my toes a little bit, because all of that. I'm just saying all of that. Whew. The open road was such an appropriate theme and picture to use, or image to use, as we move forward, because I love many songs, but the song that came to my mind in summarizing and bringing this month's events to an end was "Life is a Highway. I Want to Ride It All Night Long." And some people say that the song meant it was a metaphor for taking risks and living life to the fullest. The song was a beautiful tribute to life and how great it can be if you step out of your shell or out of your comfort zone. Someone else said that the song shows the reality of life, the ups and downs, and how one never knows when life ends, as one never knows the ending of a highway sometimes, And I too agree. Life has its ups and downs, but I encourage you to affirm your beliefs, address your mental health, heal, and pivot as needed. Oh, that was really good today. I'm full. Don't forget our quote of the day: pivoting is not the end of the disruption process, but the beginning of the next leg of your journey. Oh my goodness. So be sure to join us next week. We're going to do our Find and Love Where You Are series. February is here. Can you believe it? This month is flying. It has been amazing thus far. We wanted to keep on being amazing. Check out what we got for February. Here we go, right? Hey, it's your girl Jen Gears, and I want to invite you to join me for our February Finding Love Where You Are series. Join us on Monday, February 1st, as we will have Kelly Brown, Tiffany Renee, and Catherine Hayes for Girl, Let's Talk. On Monday, February 8th, we will have Ty Davis and Carlos Stanley break it down in our Bruh episode. We will then chat with the Married with Children on Monday, February 15th, with the Pratts and the Goldsmiths sharing over 64 years of wisdom combined. We will close out on Monday, February 22nd, with Therapist Tiff and Therapist Trisha for the What's Love Got to Do with It episode. So tune in on Facebook Live or YouTube Live by searching Chosen Counselors on Mondays at 8 p.m. Be sure to mark your calendars and tell a friend, for this Gen Care series is brought to you by Chosen Counselors. It's gonna be good. Yo, I be excited about the little intro and outro. You see the letters like go and come back. She moving up in the world a little bit. Oh, goodness. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. I thank you all so much for joining me on tonight. Tonight concludes our Move Forward series. Join us next month for our February series. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. All of these series I feel have been amazing and impactful, and I hope that they have inspired, motivated, empowered, and strengthened you as an individual and for your family. So thank you so much for joining. Whenever you do join, however you join, commenting, sharing, I thank you all so very much. I count it an honor and privilege to be here and to be before you on Mondays at 8. So I see you next Monday. I love you all for real.